What intrigued me about this documentary and working on this documentary really can be summed up in one word: dogs. I'm a dog lover through and through. I always have been. I've always had dogs. My husband and I have 3 dogs of our own. My license plate says dogs rule. I have a paw print tattoo on my arm. So initially that was really what drew me to it. But over the course of filming the documentary, it really became so much more than that.
2021, I was out to lunch with my daughters, sitting outside of a restaurant, and some people sit down next to us that have a service dog with them. And my older daughter at the time, I think was 4 or 5, and she got excited and I said, "Hey, hold on, this dog's working, it's wearing that vest, it means we gotta leave it alone." And the guy was extremely nice and just said, "That's exactly right, that's what we were supposed to tell people." And he says, "This dog," and gives us the name, and then we're just casually talking over lunch, and he's running me down on Puppy Jake, which the dog is from Puppy Jake Foundation, and how it lives with them for a few months and then it goes to prison. And I was blown away by the idea of this service dog going to prison for training. And from then he just told me the whole story of how they train dogs at the Puppy Jake Foundation. And I was immediately in my brain said, this is a documentary. And I went back to work after lunch and told my supervisor, who's now the general manager, Andrew Bott, and said, "This is a documentary." He said, "Okay, in time, we'll do it." Here we are, and it's pretty much done.
I think that the understanding of the importance of service dogs has really come a long way, but there's still a lot of education that needs to be done on service dogs, especially things like public access and service dog etiquette and rights that are afforded to a service dog and their person through the ADA and the PAWS Act. And I really hope that this documentary can become a tool to do just that, to educate people on the importance of service dogs and really how they change people's lives. We heard countless stories of people who, because of their disability, whether that disability is visible or not, were unable to leave their homes. They were unable to go out and do something with their spouse or their partner. They were unable to attend their children's social or sports or school activities. And because of their service dog, they were able to become active participants in not only their lives, but in their families' lives. And they were able to be in public places, in crowds, attend a concert with their spouse, attend their child's basketball game or choir concert, whatever that may be.
We really wanted to make sure that we weren't messing with the program that these dogs are going through. So we kind of changed our like modus operandi, or how we go about things, and went from our normal big Sony cameras down to handheld ones, and then even smaller ones that are smaller than your cell phone, so that we could follow these dogs without them caring about us. I mean, they register there's a human being there, but they don't think that person has a 50-pound giant camera or whatever that is. They're a dog, they don't know. But they just see us walking with this little mini camera. There's so many times where I was walking with this little mobile camera where I just sneak it over my shoulder and turn it around. I can monitor at my phone or undersling it, and then see them walking, try and be at the dog's eye, and the dog would not notice. And that feels like not only a win for us, but a secret win for the dogs in the program, because if we're not impeding their process, that is great.
A veteran that we interviewed, his name is Matt, and he was telling us the story of when he was working with his service dog. He and his family were there with the dog, and his son, I don't remember how old he was, maybe 5 or 6, pretty young. He looked at him and he said, "Dad, you're smiling, and I've never seen you smile before." And so what a fantastic moment for this father and son to have because of this service dog. It really struck me when we were filming this documentary, and this can really apply to anyone that has a service dog, whether it be for PTSD or anxiety or mobility or hearing loss, whatever it may be. But it really struck me with our veterans, that these are people, men and women, who have gone out and fought for our freedoms. And because of that, they've actually lost some of their own. And their service dogs have allowed them to get back some of those freedoms.
We could have easily just followed Puppy Jake, but I wanted other places to provide scale. So about 2/3 of the way through the process, I reached out to Canine Companions, which is this dog right here, and this trainer as well. And they're national organization, so they've placed over 8,000 dogs in their 50-year time span, which is incredible. But when I went out there, we're filming, we're getting some really fun shots with the dogs and their training process and interviewing families that have been impacted. But there was a certain point when I was interviewing a person from Puppy Jake about the change in the American Disabilities Act, and I just clicked in my head, oh, we have the documentary. We have everything we need. You know, we have the facts, we have the heart, we have the dogs doing all types of incredible things. We have them traveling to Chicago and New York, and we've gone to Kansas City to interview a different type of service dog. And when that happens in a documentary, I just get super excited that, like, this is going to edit itself.
3 specific good boys from the Puppy Jake Foundation, Hal, Hyde, and Checkers. And they were in the beginning of their service dog training when we started filming. And we went to Chicago on a training trip with 3 trainers and 3 dogs, and those were the 3 dogs. And we witnessed them not only from their journey when they started to grow into a service dog, but just over the 3 days that we followed them around Chicago, we saw them grow and become comfortable with things that they weren't necessarily comfortable with. Escalators, revolving doors, everything you encounter in a big city. And our last shoot for the documentary was actually their graduation, and they graduated from the program as full-fledged service dogs, and they went home with their veterans.
It's really fun to meet people who live for what they do, not as a job, but as a volunteer or the thing that they do outside of their 9 to 5. The volunteers for Puppy Jake, they're dedicated in a way that I wish I was dedicated to something outside of my job, outside of my family. It's like they live for these puppies and for the people that they are going to help. And they make lifelong bonds, not only with a dog, which may not be around for more than 12 years, but with these veterans and with their family members. And I feel like driving home from any of these shoots, I just kind of found myself with like a sense of awe that there's this dedication out there from these people that they're not receiving anything other than the feeling of they're doing good out there in the world.